Where is the African equivalent of the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel? Where it's been blessed in Europe to have had good climate, good conditions.
I have never seen an intellectual dishonesty like this. Who on their right mind would think that Europe is blessed with a good climate? Who on look, but this is a question to us as African people. The European man is asking us, he's asking a question: where is our equivalent to the Sistine Chapel? If you don't know, the Sistine Chapel is the one that Michelangelo designed, the ceiling, the one that Michelangelo designed in the 16th century. So the European man is asking us as African people, where is our equivalent to that? I want us to go and watch the full video, come back and talk about it. But before we do that, please support our mission, One Africa Mission, the number one Africa mission. We are missionaries, and our mission is all about the unity of Africa and our collective dignity as a race. Wherever you are as a melanated person, if you want to live a life of dignity and respect, then you must help us fight to unite the continent of Africa. That is what our mission is all about, because we believe that for us to regain back our dignity, then Africa must be strong, and Africa can only be strong when we are united. So please support our mission. How do you support us? Is by sharing what we are doing if you appreciate it, and also like it, pass your comments. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please try and go do that. For those of you on TikTok, please try and like it, and then follow us. Let us all together bring our energies so that future generation of Africans will be proud of us. Please, let's take our YouTube channel to 10K subscribers. I've been calling on you to help us do that. That is the only help we want from you here in One Africa Mission. We have traveled a bit within the continent of Africa. It is difficult, but we are determined as missionaries to continue that mission until we see a united Africa. Help us, help our mission. Let us fight together so that future generations will be proud of us. Let's go and listen to this dishonesty coming from a European person, but I don't blame him for that. Come back and then talk about it. Let's go and listen to him.
Where is the African equivalent of the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel? Where is the Australian Aboriginal equivalent of the works of J.S. Bach? I rest my case. We have been blessed in Europe to have had good climate, good conditions. The way we organized our politics meant we actually had good brains and we had good ideas, and we have spread those to the rest of the world. And now the rest of the world is coming back saying, oh no, you were terrible oppressors. But in actual fact, the average man and woman on the street in Africa doesn't think like that. It's the leaders, the people who are themselves stealing the wealth of their own countries, are using Western guilt against us.
Yeah, so I love European people, honestly speaking. The level of intellectual dishonesty, they don't care. They have no shame. They can watch your face and tell you, this man can watch our face and tell us that Europe they've got the best climate. When did Europe? But you cannot blame him, because if we have our African leaders buying houses in Europe, mansions in Europe, then it will tell you that the European climate is good, because European leaders, they don't come to Africa to buy houses, but our leaders will go to Europe and buy houses, own properties in Europe. So if a European man is telling you that the weather climate in Europe is better, is good, then he's right. Because if it wasn't, why would our leaders be owning properties, mansions in Europe? But the reality is that anybody who has ever been to Europe will tell you that Europe is a horrible place. Europe is a horrible place, especially for melanated people. Even a European person, an answer to him, a European person said that Europeans would prefer to be in Africa because of the good weather condition.
People often ask me what led to my family and I moving to Zambia in southern Africa. There are numerous reasons why we moved to Zambia, but just a few would include the fact that we're enjoying life in the sun. 30-something degrees heat, pretty much all year round, whilst in Europe it's pretty damn miserable, at least for 6 months of the year, if not worse. Secondly, the quality of life. Now, it's not the same for everybody here, and I do acknowledge the fact that we live quite a privileged lifestyle.
Yes, because of the good weather condition, Europeans would have preferred to be in Africa. But as I said, Europeans don't care. They didn't start it today. It has always been like that. European archaeologists will go to Africa. They will go to maybe Egypt. They will uncover the treasures of our ancestors, and they will tell you that it was made by Europeans. They don't care. They will lie to keep their supremacy. That is the only reason I love them. Intellectual dishonesty, it has been with them for many years, but it is about time we debunk all these lies. So for this man to come and ask us that where is our equivalent to the Sistine Chapel in Italy, yes, we got more than that. He should know. And as I said, he's not speaking gibberish. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He's just been intellectual. He's just been dishonest, but he knows exactly what he's talking about. He knows whatever the Europeans could ever have, we had it before in Africa. It is just that they came and destroyed it. The Great Wall in Zimbabwe, we know how scientific, like the higher level of engineering technology that they used to build the Great Wall in Zimbabwe. He know about that, but he wouldn't talk about it. Maybe if he doesn't know, then let's educate him. Let's go to Ethiopia, an African country, in Lalibela. Yes, Lalibela. This was an act of higher technology. In those days, you could see how beautiful Lalibela, the temples in Lalibela was. It's older than that one in the Sistine Chapel. This European know that, but he wouldn't say it. And that is why I love them. They will do everything to protect their supremacy. But you know why? This is the reason why we are asking for a borderless Africa. Us know about the Great Wall of Zimbabwe. How many of us know about the palace of Queen Amina of Nigeria? How many of us have ever been to Lalibela to see the act of our ancestors? But European children will visit Italy to see this. And that is why I keep saying Europeans appreciate Europe, because they have the privilege to travel around the continent of Europe to enjoy what God has given to them, what their ancestors left for them. But me and you, we have been denied the opportunity to travel around the continent of Africa. So when Europeans are asking us what our ancestors did, we don't know, because we don't have that opportunity, the privilege to travel around the continent of Africa to appreciate what our ancestors did for us. So if not for nothing, please, our leaders, give us a borderless Africa. Give us one passport. We need it. And then we need it for our own good. Because this question that he's asking, as I said, how many of Africans have been to Ethiopia to see the beautiful, good ancient acts of our ancestors? We don't know. But as I said, everything that he's saying, there's only one thing that he said that I will agree with him. And when he talked about African leaders are corrupt, they are stealing the resources, we are stealing our money, and then end up blaming them for that. This is 2025. The blaming Europeans have to stop. We have to be accountable for our stewardship. Let us hold our leaders accountable. Because one thing we should know is that these Europeans, what he's saying, he's very right, but his leaders will always support corrupt African leaders. You see how the game that they are playing us. So European leaders love corrupt African leaders, but European intellectuals will come back and expose those corrupt African leaders, so that we, the citizens of Africa, we will continue to be in a battle with our corrupt leaders. Whilst, as a matter of fact, they themselves, their leaders, always love an African leader who is corrupt. Because leaders like Captain Traoré, leaders like General Chiani, leaders like Assimi Goïta, those leaders, Europeans don't like them because they are not corrupt. They are not ready to go and buy mansions in Europe. They are not ready to own properties in Europe. So before you come telling us how corrupt our leaders are and they are bringing their money to your countries, first of all, ask your leaders, how come they support corrupt African leaders? How come they support corrupt African leaders? So it is not all our leaders who are corrupt. But the truth is that your leaders prefer corrupt African leaders. And as I said, it's a game that they are playing against us. European leaders will support a corrupt African leader. European intellectuals will come back and expose that same leader, so that we, the children of Africa, will continue to blame those leaders. We must hold them accountable. We must hold our leaders accountable. So my question now is, So my question now is, our leaders, our African leaders, when you hear white people calling you corrupt, coming out with all these allegations, how do you people feel? Wake up and then you are going to the West for medical care. Like when you go there and then you're sitting down and a Western doctor is checking you, how do you feel? When you embezzle taxpayers' money and then you use it to own properties in the West, how do you feel? Because for what we know, there is not a single Western leader who own a property like a house in Accra or in Nairobi or in Lagos or like any part of Africa. So when our leaders are buying properties in the West, and then in return, the Western intellectuals will be calling them, or Western academia will be calling them corrupt. Like, how do you feel? Like, how do you people feel? I thank you very much for coming around. Please, if you appreciate what we are doing, then please support our mission. Help us. Let us take our YouTube channel to 10K subscribers. We are pleading with you. Let's do it. Let us come together and then push each other's for our collective good as African people. Together, me and you will handle a dignified Africa to the next generation of Africans. I thank you very much.